Alright, so I'm ready to give a countdown. We're all good, right? Alright. Alright, so 3, 2, 1, go. Alright. Welcome to, as introduced, the best racing game ever made. Probably the best Wii U game, for being honest. This is Hello Kitty Cruisers for the Nintendo Wii U, and it also has a 3DS port and has a slightly different Steam version. I'll talk more about that later, since it actually does have some relevance. And then this game is getting a Switch release, which will mean I'm probably going to have to buy this game again just to see if it's faster. That's going to be the only power drift you see on land, and I'll explain power drifting in just a moment. So this is 100%. So the way that this game works is that it has two different game modes for one player. It has the one player tournament, and then it has the one player adventure. And the adventures are basically just like missions, which you see I'm doing now. All the adventures is you have to complete some certain objective, and there's the time, there's what's it called? Like a time trial. That's what I was thinking of. So there's like a time trial. There is the cupcake run, which you saw. There's Rainbow Gates, which is this. There is the apple run, and I believe that's it. I feel like I'm missing something though. That's embarrassing. No, I think that's it. Yeah, it's only the 4 types. My bad. Anyways, so time trial is obviously the most self-explanatory. So for time trial, you just want to beat it as fast as possible. Since I am doing off this completed file for, again, a reason I'll explain in just a bit, I actually get to see the ghost data on time trials, but it's really funny because not every stage has a time trial. So it's just kind of like sometimes there'll be a ghost. Did not beat the ghost there though, it's unfortunate. Alright, so the small delay, you see where it says like, oh, here's the mission, I'm going to please press continue or whatever. So you can press A to clear those boxes, except sometimes A just doesn't work. You see, the thing about Hello Kitty Cruisers is it's so well made, it's unbelievable. Like, I mean so well made. I mean, look at this polish first off. Look at these ice physics. Yes, these are ice physics. They're pretty great. So, if you're like mashing A, sometimes the A button will just become like deactivated and won't work to clear those. So you have to tap it on the touchscreen of the Wii U gamepad, and that's the only way to clear those text boxes. And so because pressing A is so inconsistent, we just mash the bottom. But the funny thing is like the clearing that for the continue is actually like incredibly small. Like, I'm not even joking, like, it's insanely small to hit, so, like, a lot of times it will just be, like, me, like, barely missing it. Alright, so, I mentioned power drifting earlier. So power drifting is pretty much entirely a boat mechanic. So much like, comparable to, like, Diddy Kong Racing, for example, there is the 3 types of transportation. So there is cars, boats, and planes, and so all the main difference is that cars control the best and have the best traction. Planes, I think, have the worst traction. Maybe they might be tied with boats. They're both pretty bad. But then airplanes move the fastest. You can't tell, but they do move the fastest, just barely. And then boats are just the worst. Boats are so awful. So during the actual tours, I'm going to turn on the sound effects, because the thing about the sound effects in this game is that they're incredibly loud. The audio balance in this game is terrible. They're incredibly loud, but the boat drift effect is probably the worst sound effect you've heard in any game. And I know that sounds like a big claim, but I'm being honest. Also, sweet, I got Rainbow Gates glitch. That's fun. That actually makes this more difficult because the hitbox doesn't change. So the way that Rainbow Gates work, yep, that one's terrible. So the way that Rainbow Gates work, okay, I fixed it, apparently by doing a 180. Alright, that works. So the way that Rainbow Gates work is that they all load at the same time you load, but they don't load in their corrective place. If you watch it like the next time it happens, like the next time we do a Rainbow Gates, that was one right there. Oh my goodness. This is actually terrible. I don't think I've ever gotten Rainbow Gates glitch on this level, so that's, we're like 5 minutes in, that's my, this has never happened before. Shoutouts. So they all load at the beginning, and sometimes if you just like mash, I don't know if it's on a specific frame, I don't think it's first frame. Then the gates will just kind of like glitch out, and they'll like not load in the correct place, so they'll kind of be like skewed. Because what's supposed to happen is the rainbow gates are supposed to like turn to match your direction. So they'll like be facing the way that you're facing, to make it like easier for you to get into them. So for rainbow gates, it's pretty self-explanatory though. Also, this may be a Wii U game, but that doesn't stop like all the hitboxes in this game from being squares. So like rainbow gates, the little boost pads in planes and boat missions, those are squares as well. So you can like kind of hit the bottom right corner, or it looks like you're maybe only slightly hitting the boost, and you'll get the boost. And that goes for hazards as well. So there are some hazards like the asteroids you saw here. Am I gonna beat that? Yeah, I did, slightly. Let's go. Oh my god. Alright, so the way that power drifting works that I was talking about is that all we do, this is like the mission that this is actually the mission that like power drifting got found. So what we're gonna do is turn as sharply as we can, because the boat's turning is like actually the worst. It's so bad. That was a bad turn. So power drifting just basically helps us align better. And it does look like it's slow, but trust me, I'm going to take this turn without doing a drift. I was holding left the entire time. Look at how much I'm drifting in either direction. It's absolutely terrible. But power drifting is you press brake and drift at the same time, and drift is the L button. And then you'll turn way sharper. It's the only way that you can like turn with any sort of control on the boat. Yeah, so without power drifting, this level takes almost always 3 laps, but with power drifting, we can almost always finish it like within this line of apples right here, which I will do right now as well. So that was pretty good. So the menus can be done with A. I don't have to mash it with the touchscreen. And I never look at the touchscreen during this run. It's purely just I'm looking at the screen, and then I'm just mashing because I know about where it is. So fun stuff. So so this game is honestly like insanely easy, but there's a really, really weird quirk about it. Okay, alright, guess we're doing that one again. So here, to turn with the airplane, I'm tapping the A button, because if you apply no acceleration, so if you just like don't press the A button to go at all, the airplane will drop like a rock. And I mean that, like it'll just drop. So Obviously, I'm not going to press A right now, and I'm not falling, but it's like once you fully decelerate, you just drop like a rock, which I guess has some realism, but like it doesn't seem very practical. So in order to make those really small turns, or really tight turns around, I have to tap A to make sure I don't drop. Yeah, see, did you see all the gates freaking out there? That was because I had to load. They had to load first. Dude, I got it again. Shoutouts. I got Rainbow Gates glitched twice in one run. That's sick. Oh, I think they fixed themselves. No, did they? I don't think they did. Looks like some of them fixed themselves. Now, I did mention how the Rainbow Gates turn to face you. So there is an actual problem with that, because their hitbox isn't actually a cube. It's just like a sprite square. The hitbox is just a two-dimensional object. So when it turns, you can run into it and the thing will like turn around you and you'll just not hit the hitbox that says you went through it. So it's this is not great. So for drifting in this game, I'm not sure how it just like got off to a better start. That was weird. For drifting in this game, drifting honestly at like first glance really sucks. So when you drift, you get thrown way out. Like watch, I'm just gonna tap drift here. I got thrown way out. Like the back of my boat just went like way out, and it's really terrible to control. However, you can abuse this to make some tighter turns like that. But the thing is, if you hold drift, you're just like screwed. That was me holding drift. And it didn't look like that was anything that bad happened because I knew which direction to hold afterwards. But if you're just holding drift and you don't know better, you're going to be turned like 180. Oh, just to let anybody know, I do have chat up. If anybody wants to ask questions, I will be reading chat. So this is honestly probably like one of the most boring adventures in the game. So so this one is, there's 99 apples, and an ideal lap I think gets 51. So it's literally just like 2 full laps of this, and there's nothing interesting about it. And I can like miss 2 without any real punishment. Like I think if you miss 2, you only lose like a second max. So it's free. It's honestly Resident Sleeper. And the apples I am getting are ideal. So on the first like water fountain, left or right have the same amount of apples. But on that second water fountain I went around, the left side just has 1 less apple. I don't know why. So the right is faster because it gives you 1 extra apple. Yeah, but this mission's very boring. So this game is technically called Hello Kitty and Sanrio Friends. Cruising. So so there's a bunch of Sanrio characters in this game. Obviously, who I've been playing as. The adventures don't let you choose anything besides your vehicle. So the character you play as is just determined by the game. The game tells you which one you're playing. So it's nobody really cares. Like right now it's gonna be Bart's Matsu, I think is his name. This bird. Oh my god, hit it. And all the characters play the same, just in case you're wondering. So like there's no difference. So the actual cars and boats, I guess one of the planes as well. They look like they're like different. So like they might be slightly bigger, slightly smaller, depending on like, you know, their aesthetic, how they look. So I'm actually gonna power drift right here. I lied. I'm gonna power drift right here. Oh my god. Reversing in this game is really bad because it takes forever to like stop, because the game won't let you actually accelerate until you fully stop decelerating. So even though I was holding A there, I kind of like slid backwards for a little bit. again, because this game isn't super well made. It just loses like petty time really at that point. So you know how I was mentioning that the game's like pretty easy? There's like a couple missions that are really hard. That one cupcake hunt I did, where I was in the plane and I was in like the ice world. That one is super actually really bad. And that's because the cupcake placement is actually really brutal and that there's like no time. Like I finished that like pretty perfectly. Well, actually, no, I didn't finish that pretty perfectly, but I had the one mistake. But I mean, if you finish it perfectly, you'll only finish with like 12 seconds left. So if you like mess up one, it takes you forever to get back to that cupcake. So you can only miss like one safely if you still want 3 stars. And for 100%, you do have to get 3 stars on everything, which just means you complete whatever the objective is. If you fall short of the objective, like if, for example, if you go, the time trial limit is 50 seconds and you go 51 seconds, that game will give you 2 stars instead. Yeah, this is no power-ups. Then the power-ups aren't in adventures, they're in all tours, but the tours are later. So yeah, it looks like the planes are slightly bigger, slightly smaller, but they actually just have the same hitbox. It doesn't fundamentally make any difference. They're just all for aesthetic, which is good because I like playing with the like the black and yellow boat, and it has, I think it's like the biggest boat model in the game. So this is the other really bad. This is the excuse me. The next apple run is also one of them. So the really hard missions I was talking about was that cupcake hunt with during the ice level where it was with plane. Just because if you miss one, it's pretty brutal. You don't have a whole lot of room to mess up. This one's pretty free. All the apple runs are honestly pretty free. The last apple run, which is the last mission in adventure spoilers, is relatively hard, but with a couple strats it's pretty simple, and because power drifting's a thing. If power drifting didn't exist, that mission would also really suck. Oh great, I missed that one. That was pretty nice. Yeah, so this mud right here actually does have ice physics. You can kind of tell in like the way I drive. Like I kind of slide all over the place like I'm drifting or something. But I'm not, I'm just driving normally. Goodness, I've missed 2 really easy ones now. Not a huge deal. It wastes slightly more time in this one. Oh my goodness. I'm choking away this apple run. I just called it easy, now I'm choking it away. Unbelievable. What a marathon choke. Top 10 marathon chokes. Alright, so... Alright, not a big deal. So this is the hardest adventure. So you may be thinking, okay, you have a minute to get 12. That's not that big of a deal, except you have to do this. And that was with a power drift at a really good time. You have effectively no time window to do these. And if you miss one, you do not have enough time to go back. When I played through this game the first time casually, I failed this mission, like, it was like 5-6 times before I even did it, which honestly isn't that bad, but the fact that it's so much harder than everything else in this game makes really no sense. And it's only hard because this game controls terribly. Like, okay, this run hasn't been super duper extra great for this cupcake hunt, but I'm probably going to end up with like 8 seconds left. And that was with like, you know, pretty good timing. So, okay, it was a low 9. But it's so much harder than like everything else, and I don't get it. It's insanely difficult. So I mentioned I was playing off a completed file earlier, and that's because this game sometimes just crashes on its loading screens. The loading screens will literally just like take so long and then they'll just freeze. It's pretty good. We don't know why. We don't know if it has anything to do with like mashing A or an input or anything like that. I tend to not mash A in between loading screens just in case. I don't think that's the actual cause, but it might be, so I just do it anyways. So in the case that it did crash on me, it's a hard crash too. I'd have to unplug my console. It wouldn't save my data, so I'm just doing it off a completed file. That way I won't lose any actual time. So the estimate's also an hour because of that. See, this is the second to last time trial in the run, but it's like incredibly easy. I don't get why this is like the second to last mission. I don't get it. It's so easy. So 100% run should never take longer than about 55 minutes. Like, you might get a 55 if the run's not going super great, but you should never get like above a 55. But the reason it's an hour is because of those crashes. If the game crashes, it'll take about 2 minutes to get back to what we were doing. So, alright, so this is the longest mission now. So this mission requires you to get 99, and it's just really bad to collect these apples on this course. There's not a whole lot of really long strings, and getting those 5 around the corners actually lose time, except for this one. This one's fine because of how we turn anyways. Sick. Alright. No, I didn't get that one. What in the world? So I want to average 33 apples per lap, obviously, to make sure I finish this in 3 laps. I only got 32 there, but the good news is that if you have a perfect lap, the perfect lap has 37. So, or is it 38? It's 37 or 38. So that means that there's plenty of extra apples for me to get in case I miss some on a lap or 2. As long as you just don't get like only like 29 or something apples, you'll be fine. This lap is already a lot better in terms of apple count. You misunderstand. The apple runs still are free. This one's just the most difficult of them. It's still free. Okay, so I got exactly 33 there. So I'm gonna need to get an extra apple here, which I should get just fine. Ooh, I did not get that. Alright, so there's a backup strat to make sure I get this lap. That is if I miss any of these apples. Oh, I did. So we can just go and get these. Alright, 3 laps. That was kind of slow, but oh well. Alright, so we're done with all the adventures, yay! Gotta pick the best outfit. Alright, so now we're doing the tours. So the way the tours work is it's pretty much like your normal racing game. We can kind of cheese that and get that speed boost right there, it's really nice. So it's like a normal racing game, it's just normal tracks, you're trying to beat it as fast as possible. The adventures are the real, air quotes, difficult part of this run. They have the most like tech to them. You have to know like power drifting and a lot of like Apple setups and Apple strats. It's really not that bad, but you know, you just have to kind of know that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, the tours are less thought intensive, but they do have a couple big time saves for strats that make it so that that like you can't do like 2 runs of this category and be like, oh yeah, it's dead. They aren't like huge time savers, but it's a couple like like 1 second things, like here and there, that really add up. So one was that speed boost thing I did at the beginning. Like if you don't know how to do that, I think that loses like 4 seconds overall because of the way that the speed boosting works in this game. Because I think the speed boosting works something like you get more of a speed boost if you're not in first. I don't know if it's relative to like what position you are. I don't know if it's like, oh, if you're 8th, they go slightly faster than if you're in 2nd or whatever. I don't know if that's the case. But if that is, then that's cool. But getting the boost there does save like 3.5, 4 seconds. Okay, I thought it crashed for a second. So this is our first effect of the push boxes. So that's going to push me to the side. That wasn't doing that. That was the waterfalls physics pushing me to the side. I don't know why it does that, but it's a detail that includes that. So you know how I said the boat sucks? There is one good thing about the boat, is that because of it being extremely loose on the controls, you can actually take a boost like way farther than you're supposed to, because you can kind of maneuver around corners and keep a boost a lot longer. Because if you hit a wall, the boost effectively goes away. If you go straight into a wall, that is. If you slide into a wall, like if I grind against a wall, like I'm gonna do here probably, or not. Okay, I'm gonna hit this wall. So if I hit this wall, I'm not gonna actually lose like hardly any speed. As long as I don't hit it like straight on, and I mean like dead on, then I won't lose like any time, because it won't slow me down basically at all. If I go straight into it, it does slow me down a bit. No, it's not. You don't go faster if you're an 8th. It's just the boost. Like if you're an 8th, you don't go faster than the person in first. It's purely the boost. Lap those. Oh, what am I doing? Wrong menu. That's lewd. So, no power-ups. No power-ups is both good and bad. So no power-ups right now has a better all-tour time by like 4 seconds, but honestly they're about even. Because there is basically a mushroom in this game. It is a triple booster. So you know those boosters I've been hitting, like the green circles and the like purple and green pads on the kart racing ones. Those give me a set speed, and the speed amount is like a set boost, excuse me. And those boost amounts are also obtained with the triple boosters. But the only way you can get triple boosters is with items. Obviously, you can't get them without power-ups on. So you lose time there. Except this game also has lightning, basically. It's clocks, and the clocks just make you just go slower for a little bit, and it totally kills your acceleration. So like your acceleration just dies when that happens. So you lose a lot of time. I think it's like 6-ish seconds per clock. And I'd say about like every tour you do, which every tour has 4 courses in it, 4 tracks, I guess. So if you have how many clocks you get per, I'd probably say it's about anywhere from like 3 to 6 clocks per tour. So what you usually do is, if you're going for power-up resets, you literally go and do the first mission over and over again until you get triple boosters. And then depending on how much you want to reset, you can reset again during the next one. But I tend to reset if I didn't get triple boosters as my first item on the first track, and got a clock on the first track, or if I got more than 3 clocks in tour 1, then I reset. Actually, I would reset if I didn't get like boost at the start of the second tour. And because of that, they average out. So the average time honestly does kind of balance out. Obviously, theoretically, power-ups would be faster due to just the triple boosters being faster. Like having access to a boost at any time. It would be a lot faster. So it's because it's about, I think it's something like every 2 boosts is equal to 1 clock. So if you got like 1 clock time after you got a triple booster, you'd still save time over no power-ups. Given that you weren't hit by a clock when you started a boost, because if you hit a boost pad like this and then immediately get clocked, your speed goes down to the set value it is for clocks. The clocks keeps you at set speed, and it won't actually like let go of that speed value until the clocks are over. So you can just kill an entire boost by using a boost and then getting hit by a clock, and then you just lost your boost and there's nothing you can do about it. And that also goes for the boost pads and the like. Which really sucks. But like I said, theoretically, power-ups is faster, but power-ups world record is 4 seconds slower than no power-ups, and the all tours with power-ups run is honestly pretty good. I think it gets something like 6 boosters. Oh, I should note that you can get boosters in first place. I don't actually have a percentage, but I think it's around 5%. I don't think it's 1%. I think it's 5%. It might be 10, but I think it's 5, judging by just how much I've done it. So I think I got like 5 boosts and 9 clocks or something like that, and ended up 4 seconds slower than my no power-ups. Obviously, no power-ups is a lot more consistent, so if you really want to grind and you're not in it for the RNG, all tours is pretty simple to grind. So these bees here, these bees have actually like astronomical hitboxes that make like any Smash Bros. Game look like normal in comparison. They're so huge, it's absolutely insane. Because like I was talking about, everything's like a box in this game. So their hitbox is absolutely huge. Because I think it like closes their wings too. It's just really big. Yeah, this game, honestly, like if I had to say one major compliment for this game, is that it actually has pretty good music. Hi there. This game's music, honestly, is pretty good. It's not like anything like Earth. Okay, he just okay, he just kind of went through that wall. I don't know if you saw that. It was pretty cool. He went straight through that wall, dude. Oh my goodness, that was really funny. So, this game has pretty good music. Obviously, the game looks like trash. This is a Wii U game, and I think it outputs in 720. But oh my goodness, this game is, it's not horrible, but it looks terrible for a Wii U game, you know. So on this last lap, and I missed that. Like, I wasn't able to drift recover. So on this last lap, I'm actually going to go in and go to the settings and turn up the sound effects volume, just so everybody can hear the drift noise of the boat, because oh my goodness, is it terrible. I don't think you guys will believe me when I say that the drifting noise for the boat is actually the worst sound effect you might ever hear in any game ever. There's a reason I put the sound effects so down. Yes, this is a Wii U game. It was released like a couple months after the Wii U came out. It's going to be on Switch soon. Oh boy. Actually, I can talk about. Actually, here. Let me just. All right. So, the hell? You're gonna click settings. All right. There we go. So let me turn up this. Let me turn up this sound effect volume. So you guys ready? Are you guys ready for this? The best sound effect you've ever heard. Also, those AI are stuck. It's the greatest sound effect ever. God, it is so bad. Oops. Okay. I'm using the D-pad, why is it doing that? So yeah, just a little tidbit there. I don't know. It's on water. Why is it screeching like that to drift? Another push box here that pushes you to the side. I wish I could tell you why, but it is the worst sound effect ever. It's so bad, oh my goodness. So, allow me to actually talk about the differences between the releases of this game. So as mentioned earlier, there's a Steam port that's slightly different, and then there's a 3DS and Wii U version. The 3DS version is just slower via loads. The loads in this game are inconsistent, but the 3DS honestly just doesn't have the power. And I think there's something about it that's like different too. I want to say like, I think the boosts don't last as long in the 3DS release, but they're treated like the same game. And the Steam version though, the Steam version has a slightly different name. I can't remember off the top of my head. It has a different speedrun.com if you want to look it up. But the game actually just legitimately moves faster. Like, your cart just moves a little faster. Not a whole lot faster, but a little faster. And the game's loads are obviously a lot better because of PC. But it's treated like a different game because it does have a different title. And this game is coming to Switch, so I will end up buying this just to see if it's faster on Switch. If it is, then, oh no, then I might hurt something. Maybe if it crashes left though, I'll be okay. Because I think the 3DS version crashes less. I think the 3DS version crashes less at the sake of like being slightly slower. So this is the best plane track in the game. And it might not look like it for a little bit, but you'll see why shortly. Yeah, the Switch release is probably not going to be faster, but we won't know until we check, so unfortunate reality. Yeah, so this plane mission actually has the most amount of boosters of anything, and the funny thing is it's actually like a pretty short map. So watch this. This is pretty funny how much speed you can get here. These stay going fast for like ever. Hard drift there to make that turn. It's like the only hard drift to really do with the plane. And we just kind of breeze through that. So the first lap, 28 seconds. This lap will be about 20. Just because it's so much faster to go through it. It's pretty fun how fast you're going. If this was like the normal plane speed, the game would be pretty good. Yeah, there is two other runners, being Gonkwai and NES. NES picked up this game recently, and then Gonkwai was the original runner. Gonkwai was the one that got me into running this game. Namely because I was like, yo, I mean, I'll do Hello Kitty Cruisers eventually, and then I did it eventually. Also, Gonkwai only did all tours with power-ups. Is the only category he did. And I didn't ever think his time was like super duper ultra good. So I was like, hey, I should like beat that. And then I did, and I was like, well, there's only like 5 categories in this game. Let's just get world record in all of them. So now I do. Oh, I should also mention, I'm playing on digital. This is not a disc I'm playing off of. Partly due to the fact that, actually, fun fact, the Wii U disc of this game is actually one of the rarest Wii U physical releases of the entire library. A Hello Kitty Cruisers disc goes for something like 60 to 100 bucks. And no, I'm not joking, you can look it up if you don't believe me. Digital is slightly faster. It's not a whole lot faster, but it is slightly faster. It saves something like 6 seconds in all tours, so it probably saves closer to like 15 to 20 for 100%, which is a fair amount of time. I mean, if you're just like, I want to pick up this game for the first time, then you would probably just pick up digital because there's no reason to get a disc, because discs are so expensive and they're slower anyways. So this is just digital. So this track has acorns falling down on the sides that get you if you aren't paying attention. The patterns are pretty easy, and the cycles are pretty free. This game actually does have a lot of cycles. You saw me avoiding asteroids in a specific way on the previous map. They're pretty basic to dodge, and then you know how to dodge them based on your time in the first lap. My first lap was nothing special, so I had to do like the normal strat. If I was like 0.4 faster, I would have had a slightly different route. That was a great turn. You know what? I couldn't tell you. A lot of the times I don't hold the joystick all the way, I literally just like tap it. Sometimes they pick up on my mic, so you might hear them. But only when I'm doing really big turns like that do I normally hold the joystick, otherwise I'm just doing taps the entire time. Slightly easier to control that way. Okay. Because I had a slow second lap, I was going to get sniped there if I held straight. I mean, people love Hello Kitty Cruisers with Sanrio friends. I mean, who doesn't? Yeah, that finish line is sorely misplaced. It's like way earlier than it actually is. Oh yeah, in order to get the 100% for all tours, you have to have the most points, which is pretty easy because getting first is free as hell, honestly. So, getting first is so easy; it's not even a big deal. So this is arguably one of the best tracks in the entire game, and you won't see why for a little bit, but we will see probably on lap 2 or 3. Looks like it's gonna be lap 3 probably, judging by this. It didn't really happen, but we'll still get to see this. The AI in this game is not good, so you'll see that here by these couple people that are just kind of stuck right here. Look at them, they're so good because they don't know how to get back on the actual course. That happened on the boat mission earlier, but yeah, the AI just isn't that great, which is part of the reason why getting first is so easy. AI is just so bad. Drifting with the airplane usually isn't a very good idea. The airplane has really good turning. It's not as good as the car, but it's pretty good. So this is the best boat mission now. And for the same reason that the best plane mission was the best plane mission, because there's a lot of boosts on this track, and it's shaped like a plus, and so because of the way that the controls work, it actually works out super great for keeping your speed. So you just go zoom zoom all the way through. There are some nice background details, like the steam, or the smoke, excuse me, coming out of that like cruise liner in the background. There are some details that shows that they cared about this game somewhat. The best background details are actually in the last course we're gonna do, like in the very last track. But usually in the backgrounds of these, usually you just see caricatures of the Hello Kitty and Sanrio friends, and then usually just like atmospheric detail. So. Alright, and that is 2 or 3. So this one is actually one of the hardest no power-up setups in the entire run. I don't think I got it. Alright, well I made it work. Getting between those bees is absolutely abysmal. Again, like I said, their hitboxes are just ginormous. I luckily haven't gotten hit by one, but trust me, it's harder than it looks to go through that. Hitting things does make you spin out, which just keeps you going that direction slightly slower. You spin out and you have no control over your wheel. So overall, just not a great time. I'm gonna hit here. Almost got hit. I was pretty close. That normally isn't quite that close, but I guess I didn't have the greatest first lap. Yeah, a 42.2 isn't the greatest, I guess. I didn't think I was going to be that close, though. Not a big deal, I didn't get hit, though. Assuming no crashes here, this will be about a 54-30. And if I do crash, all I'm going to do is just load up the game again and go to quick play and play the courses I hadn't played in that tour, instead of starting the tour all over again. That was actually a gold split. That's funny. I didn't think I did that well. Maybe it was because maybe I got hit with B on all the previous attempts or something. That's weird. Whatever, I'll take it. So for this one, I'm actually going to go pretty high here because there's a bird on a cycle that I will hit otherwise. Right down there. There's no way to avoid it without being super duper slow, so I just go high and avoid it, which doesn't waste much time at all. Alright. See you later, Shadowclaw. Now that we can take it low and be just fine. Okay, I was apparently incorrect. Maybe I haven't gotten this track, because I definitely know that track exists because it's I do a variation of that for all adventures. Alright, the new tech with Pokehero Live. I lapped that guy and we were still on lap 2. That was funny. It does slow you down slightly, even if it doesn't really look like it, and because it makes you spin out, you do ultimately lose time because of it, because you keep going one direction and have no control over your wheel. So this is actually, I'd say, probably the most technically demanding of the all tour stages. So obviously in all adventures, that one cupcake hunt I was talking about was the most. But getting these angles here are pretty annoying. That was pretty good, but not perfect. Alright, cool, got that. 1 for 3. Okay, you slowed me down for a second, bud. Thanks for going the wrong way. Oh yeah, the AI is horrible on this stage, dude. They hit everything. Case in point. That was worse. Two for 3. Oh, I totally almost hit that. Alright, I didn't get hit by that, so I'll take it, I guess. 3 for 3? Hey, 3 for 3, okay. That's a lot harder than that looks. Alright, GG, dude, that was pretty good. Alright, and the last track. So this track also has a pretty, I wouldn't say pretty difficult, but a fairly difficult strat due to the cycles. But this one definitely has the most details of any track, so if you want to, you can take a look at the background. But time will be coming up at the end of this race, and these crabs don't have the greatest hitboxes. Some of them are different than others too. And you can just go through some of the crabs. I don't know if that's going to be good. It wasn't. I should have waited just a quarter second longer. So unfortunately I did not get that cycle correct. So that's okay though, not a big deal. The crabs are to prevent you from like hugging the wall like that because there is no like off stage. You know, like it's not like going on the road is faster than going off the road. Yeah, I had to change that slightly to make sure I'd made that cycle. You can tell by the crab going left and right by the boost pad, but you can also see there that the hitbox for it wasn't super duper great. Cool. Again, the AI pretty good. Alright, time's coming up here in about 20 seconds. Oh, really? I got hit by that? No big deal. Alright, and... comes up when I clear this menu. Alright, time. I show a 54:38 on my timer. What does the SS4C timer say? Yeah, 54:38 as well. Look at that. All right. Well, that's Hello Kitty Cruisers. I'm very glad I didn't get a crash, and everything else went pretty well, honestly. So that's gonna be it for Hello Kitty Cruisers. So thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate it. I appreciate running this here, and I think that's it. So thank you guys.
Alrighty. Thank you, Poke, for the awesome run. Now we're gonna take a little bit break while we set up the next run. That's going to be New Super Mario Bros. 2 War Plus. So please, guys, keep donate. That Poke here already put the link in the chat. Please keep watching the marathon. We're gonna be right back.